challenge you to bet on yourself and dream a little bigger than yesterday. It's about that time, y'all. It's time for you to think higher, speak life, and know that same power.
Thank you for coming to our podcast for Unheard Voices, and the topic that we're going to be opening with is the first topic, which is called Does the Wall Exist? And is my host as well, Jade.
Hi.
For Unheard Voices. And we've got our three beautiful guests here.
Two beautiful guests.
No, and you as well. Come on, we're all one. So we are going to open Does the Wall Exist? And I'll open it with our guest, Hass, to explain what the wall is.
Okay, right. So the phenomenon, apparently this is a recent phenomenon. It's theory that women of a certain age group, and it is just women. I was talking to someone earlier who thought it was specifically black women, but my experience is it's across the board. But it is a theory that women of a certain age, 30s, 40s, 50s, have put career before family and relationships. They've got to a certain point in life. And this has to be clarified, not their value as human beings, their relationship marketplace value, according to society, drops at that point because they are, for the most part, past childbearing age or safe childbearing age, and they have lived alone so long or their own way so long that it is hard, if not impossible, for them to allow someone in and have equal say. So a lot of the time, they're not finding healthy relationships, getting into relationships that seem doomed to fail just because of the attitudes that both parties have going into it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It is. Can I just ask a question? Is that people's thoughts and perceptions, or is that an actual proven almost claim?
For me personally, I've heard it from women specifically, not from men telling me. I've spoken to women. I was telling Afro over the last 6 or 7 months, I've lost count of the conversations I've had personally women our age. I don't know how old you are. I'm 52.
I'm not 52.
Okay, 51.
Let's not discuss ages.
One
round about that mark.
So women my age,
round about that mark. Yeah.
Have been telling me this. You know, a couple of them asked me to set them up with people. And
I am sorry. Go on. I was going to say I've worked in HR.
Yeah.
So
human resources.
Yeah. Sorry, and throughout our time in human resources, we very much pioneered for equal rights for women on everything, pay. Structure. It was a major thing when I was in human resources, and I think probably for the women that I could be wrong because I obviously don't know them, but for some women they've worked so hard to get where they wanted to and to get to such a level in their employment that maybe subconsciously they didn't realise they were doing it, that they've put everything else aside. Because it was such a major thing for women in the workplace, you know, to sit round a board with men, you know, to actually have a board seat, a say in the way that, you know. I do agree.
I do also think that the longer you are alone and haven't got a partner, a child, you do get more set in your ways.
Of course you do.
You know, it's, you know, you get set in your ways. So then to become a partnership or to... I think it's difficult.
It's a huge
I think it's a step. I also think, as Joe said, I do think employees are, it's probably a little bit easier now than it was.
Definitely.
With regards to blended working from home and all this. But no, I think the whole thing with struggling is to do with you've been on your own. You've been on your own sort of so long. You're only thinking about yourself. Not like women that I've done it before, like kids and getting to work and you know your whole life is a juggle. And I've done it all. I had my children at 24. I'm now 58. You know, the boys aren't living at home, but I still remember that whole juggling.
Clock watching the whole time.
Oh, just
Yeah,
you know,
clock
yeah.
watching.
Watching the
in a
whole
relationship
time.
at
From
the-
when you
sorry to
wake
cut you
up.
off.
Yeah.
Were
Was
you in a
I
relationship?
I split up from my first. I'm married,
Okay.
second time round, and I was on my own for a few years
Yeah.
with the boys, and it was difficult. And I don't regret it at all. But I think I've always had to think of other people.
Yeah.
I've always had to think
Just to
of.
clarify, were you in a relationship when you? So you had your boys when you were originally in
Yes,
a relationship.
yes.
See, that's different.
Yes.
Because what we're talking about, what I'm talking about, what I've been talking to these people about. Some of them are my friends who I've
Yeah.
known for like a decade and more. But what I'm actually talking about is they haven't got into a relationship
No.
and then gone into work. They've totally
Done
said, you
work.
know what, I can do that later.
Yeah.
I'll do this first. I need to focus on me.
So, are they struggling with finding someone later on in life? Is that what it is?
Yeah, and what they want. Because a lot of them, one of them gave me a list of requirements. And when I say
They gave you a
list,
list?
it was literally, she'd written it down.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And read it
Yeah.
out to me. And it took her, it must have taken her like 6-7 minutes to read this list out. That's a long old list. It was 2 pages of A4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And is your friend looking for a man equal age to her?
She's looking for someone who's perfect.
Yeah,
Right.
see,
That's
see,
what she's
been on
looking
your
for.
own,
When I
yeah.
said to her, it's not going to happen. It's
No.
not going to happen. Everything if you got 10% of that list, yeah, you'd be lucky. You'd be luckier than a lot of the people in the world. You know what I mean? But this one in particular, did not seem, from our conversation, like she was willing to, in her opinion, settle. I don't see it as settling. I don't see it as settling for not getting everything you want. I see it as getting the best option. You know
Well,
what
I think you've got to look at the good points, hopefully outweigh the bad points, and you want to meet
forgot-
someone who's...
Yeah, I forgot the most important point. Sorry to cut you. The most important
No.
point, when she'd read this list out, I said, okay, fair enough. Let's say, argument's sake, you find this guy. Yeah? What are you going to give him? What are you bringing to the relationship? You know what she said? Well, I've got a strong personality and I'm funny. And she reeled off a load of stuff that probably all you 4 women here have as well. Nothing unique, nothing even on a par with a quarter of the stuff that she expected from the man. So I said to her, is that fair? Do you think that's fair? That you expect all of this and you're giving virtually nothing in return? That doesn't seem fair to me.
What was
she
her
sat and thought
reasons
about it,
for not finding someone
she
earlier
wanted to
on?
work.
Oh, she wanted to work.
Yeah,
So
she
she's
wanted
building
a
her career.
She's a clinical psychologist. And
Do you need to choose one or the other
don't think you
nowadays?
do.
No,
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think you
think
do.
you do.
I think dating is definitely harder for as you get older.
yeah.
Definitely.
We've
I
got
mean,
social media and online now.
I mean, everything is
That
swipe
everyone-
left or swipe right.
Yeah.
I've got friends that are single in their 50s and whatever, and it is difficult. But going back to your
Yeah.
statement, do you need to choose either a career or a...
Well,
No, it depends,
equality
but-
would say no.
Yeah.
Let's
I
be
was
honest.
just going to say, women were told initially, as far as because the original version of feminism, I'm all for, because that is about equality. It's about egalitarian society. But it seems, or is seeming more and more, that the version of feminism seems it's more about hating men, disliking men, and problem. That's how it feels. I'm not saying it is.
I think it's very current. I think
It does
that's
feel
a
like
bit,
that.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
it's
The modern
quite...
incarnation of feminism seems like that. Men are the problem. Don't trust men. And this is why a lot of people are having problems dating now, because of that attitude from the younger women, from the men who are thinking, you know what, I've had enough of this. I'm not getting in a relationship. I've spoken to Afro. I got out of a 4.5-year relationship 6-7 months ago. I don't want another relationship.
No, that's fair enough. Well, that's still...
Pointedly, I don't want another relationship. I put in 90% more than I got from it. You know, and to be fair, yeah, in all honesty, I don't really mind that, because my belief is a man's supposed to bring more as far as provisions.
Do you? Do you believe that?
I do that, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that's...
a
I
traditionalist.
suppose that's quite... Well,
You know
yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
old school, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But
I think the younger generation are definitely, from what I observe with my son's
Yeah.
friends and age, people in their, I don't know, 33, 34, it's definitely, I think, more equal now.
Yeah, 100%.
Their jobs are equal, their wages are equal, they're a partnership, they're a team,
that's another
yeah.
issue. Jobs aren't really equal. We say this, but I studied this the other day. I was looking for all the stats the other day, talking about equality, but we haven't got equality. You know, sewer jobs, for example, predominantly men. builders, predominantly men. Yeah. Road layers, predominantly men. Yeah, all the hard and the horrible jobs men do. But you know why men do that? Because we are willing to sacrifice for our families. You know, we'll get into a stinking sewer for 50 grand a year to make sure our families are provided for. You know what I mean? Women don't do that, and I don't blame them, because if I had the choice, I wouldn't do it either. Because it stinks and it's horrible and it's hard work.
Yeah.
But there is big recruitment drives for women to join certain. I know the engineering, because when my son was looking at studying engineering, and I was talking to the lady at the
recruitment.
the recruitment drive, and she said there is we want women. There is a huge shortage of women in the industry, so we strive to get women in
Science,
engineering,
technology, maths,
maintenance, all of that.
Like those industries are predominantly male. You know what I mean? And we do need more women in these jobs, but a lot of these jobs are harder. And to be honest, if someone said to you, "Is a hard job, is an easy one," which one are you going to pick?
The one that pays the most money.
Okay, you're unique. Most people pick the easy job.
I like her answer.
Most people pick, I ain't gonna lie, I'd pick the easy job. Of course I would.
Yeah.
But I haven't got a family to provide for. If I had a family, I would all day long pick the one that would give me the most money, even if it was a risk to my life. As long as they were catered for, that's all that matters. And that's how a lot of men think. But from what I've seen, spoken to men of generations, and a lot of them are disheartened with dating and relationships now, because they don't seem to be on their playing field, their footing.
I don't know many single men, to be fair. So
No,
I really don't.
I've got
I've
got single girlfriends.
Yeah.
And I know
How do
that
they find it?
difficult. Really difficult.
What aspects of it do they find difficult?
Meeting people,
Yeah.
because the whole
The
going
meeting
out.
an honest
You're talking about
person,
physical
and
meeting.
just meeting.
Meeting
It's
someone.
like a CV, isn't it? An
Of course it
interview.
is, and
You
then
have to
and then you
for an
go.
interview.
So you start doing the online dating, but then again, it's scary. Who are you
don't
actually
know.
talking to?
Yeah.
To
I
go and
wouldn't
meet.
do online.
Would you not? No.
Just
It's-
because I'm scared of everything. Like,
Yeah.
I am scared of my own shadow. So the thought of actually having to go out and meet this person that I've been speaking to, I just think, I don't know how this is gonna go.
I get that, especially
is
this
he
day
a
and
serial
age.
killer?
Yeah.
Is he? Do you know what I mean? What's gonna happen? I wouldn't. To be honest, I think dating is hard.
It's
I'm
really
single,
hard.
and I find
Yeah.
it very hard to actually meet someone when I go out. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Am I being picky or I don't?
It's different, and I
it's
think
very
Glenn, I
hard.
think working from home now
That's
has
it.
stopped a lot of social for young people.
Socialising,
Because it was
Yeah.
going out on a Friday night straight from work was
Yeah.
the big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Work people.
And it's not like that anymore.
No.
It's completely different. So no, I think it's difficult, but I think it's difficult all ages now.
Yeah.
Whether you're
Even
20,
the
30,
20s,
40, 50,
Well, there's
I
another
think it's
study.
difficult.
Another study that men between the ages, I think it's between the ages of 18 and 24, predominantly that age group have been sexless for a year or more. That is because that's for a number of reasons. Well, obviously, that's not all.
No.
That's not all. But majority of those guys in that age
I
range. have
think
been
my youngest
sexless
son was.
for that age because reasons, but mainly because men feel, or young men feel, fearful speaking to women these days. For a couple of reasons. One, they might get thought of as a creep. Yeah. Two. Right. So, how many guys? Yeah. Right. Have you got social media?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, without even seeing your social media, I could go into any of your DMs on any given day and see at least 10 messages from guys.
Mine's pretty dry. I'm not gonna lie.
No, not me.
No, not me.
No.
That's
No.
unusual. None of you guys have got DMs from guys you don't know asking
I sometimes get friendship requests
Yeah.
from people, and I look and I
Yeah.
think, oh my goodness.
from men.
Don't know.
Yeah,
Men.
from men.
And Instagram,
Yeah.
I see someone I don't know following me,
Yeah.
and sometimes you do get an odd message, but it's not frequently, I have to
Okay,
say.
this is a rarity then, because
yeah.
everyone else I've been speaking to gets DMs. That most of them say they blank them, but
Yeah,
most, all right, let's say 80% for argument's sake, of women of a certain age range. We're not talking about pensioners there, obviously. We're talking about women that are attractive, society finds attractive, will have a number of DMs, direct messages from men they don't know, shooting their shot, so to speak. And I've totally forgot my point. There was a point. That's what happens when I get.
You was talking about the DM and the messages.
Yeah, but there was a reason that I brought that
Because
specifically up.
But do men not, but so women wouldn't direct message.
Right.
How
Yes.
hard
right.
it is
Right.
dating.
I remember where I was
the
now. I was talking
dating.
about like men don't want to approach women because sometimes they might be thought of as a creep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I walked past in my hometown. There's one of those new chicken shops. One of them southern ones, called Popeye's called, and they've got a little seating area outside, and there were 3 girls between 18 and 20, I think I would assume, sitting at this at one of these tables, and a group of guys walked past, like 4 guys around the same age, and one of the guys walked up to the girl and said something, so I couldn't hear what he said. I was too far away. And she went, "Ugh, you creep, F off," swore at him, embarrassed him in front of everyone. Yeah, I don't know what
Brutal.
he said. He could have said something nasty and
Yeah.
deserved that, but he might have just said, "Oh, you look
Hi.
nice. I'd like to buy you a drink." You know what I mean? And that's how she responded. And speaking to other guys, another one of my young mates, he said he don't do that either. He don't approach women.
No.
He said what he waits for, he look at a woman. If she smiles at him and says and gives him the impression that she's interested, only then will he approach her.
But then do you
he'll
not-
never cold approach a woman.
Do you not just think that's society now, the way, you know, we've
No.
brought up with...
I don't. Not as a
Because
whole.
when we were kids, not being funny, it was typical. You'd walk past a building site and
Wolf
notoriously
whistles.
you'd get the wolf whistles, all right, love, and that. And you sort of giggle, you'd walk past and, you know, but you didn't take offence
offence.
at all.
No.
Now, if somebody did do that to somebody,
Oh.
they would,
Yeah,
wouldn't
take,
they?
Yeah.
They would take...
charges. They want to press charges and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So, guys, that's another reason. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying guys should be wolf whistling because some women feel uncomfortable with that. You know what I mean? Just as some guys, I've got a mate who's he's got model looks.
Love to be wolf whistled at.
But this guy,
I never have before. Oh, I'd be really
this guy's
excited.
got model looks, yeah. But if a woman approaches him or
Yeah.
says something complimentary, he gets literally embarrassed. He goes red.
Oh,
And he
really?
goes big. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I get that it is uncomfortable for some people, but seems, and I have to pick my words carefully, a lot of people are oversensitive.
Oh, you can't say anything.
100%. You cannot say
can't.
anything. You've got to be
He,
careful
she,
with
her,
everything.
him.
Oh,
I
everything.
spoke to one of my
Absolutely.
mates about coming on here. He said, "Don't do it." I said, "Why not?" He said, "Just don't do it." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because your views are going to be recorded." But I said, "Look, I'm going to go." I'm
But
not
they're
gonna-
your views.
Your
Right.
views.
You're
And
entitled
you're
to be
honest.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, I'm not going to insult anybody. I'm just going to speak my mind and try and come to some conclusions, if possible. But the original point about DMs and men not approaching women, that's one of the reasons, yeah, because they don't want to get shot down in flames and embarrassed in front of everyone. And the other one is because, and this is what my young mate, I say, he's 24, yeah? But he said to me, and these are his exact words, women these days don't know how to act right. I said, what do you mean? He said one of his friends got gonorrhea in his mouth.
Oh God.
Oh.
In his mouth from kissing his partner, who was his girlfriend. They claimed each other. Yeah, who'd been
Let me
giving
just, sorry, let me
Go on.
just go
Yeah.
process this right. He got gonorrhea in his mouth
Yeah.
by kissing his partner
Yeah.
Who's obviously been doing something
Yeah.
to someone
with
else.
another.
And it
That's
turned
not good.
out,
She did.
it turned out there were a number of someone else's who she'd also given gonorrhea to. Yeah, so obviously that's going to be traumatic. You got gonorrhea in your mouth. This is your partner. So that was part of his explanation as to why they don't act right. And I was saying like,
But that's
how's that
stereotyping,
normal?
and you
Yeah,
can't.
that's a one-off, and that's been
can't,
going on for
because
years. Yeah.
Pressed him on it. 'Cause
Yeah.
You
I
can't
was of the same-
stereotype every
I was of the
girlfriend,
same
wife.
opinion as you. This is one woman, yeah. So they then started to catalogue a number of ladies. That,
Well, he's been very unlucky then.
no, not just
Yeah.
him. That they
Oh.
had met. No, they didn't
Yeah.
all get like
Yeah.
doses. But he was just telling me about the behaviours and the way that relationships, if you can even call them that, are viewed now by this current generation. They're not relationships. People aren't having relationships. They're just having sex and then moving on to the next person. And sometimes they're not even cutting things off with the previous person or the previous two people. No, you can see
Yeah.
that look. That's been going on for generations. I know it has, but now it seems it's more prevalent. Is all I'm saying, from what I've heard.
I don't know, maybe I'm a bit of a romantic. I still think, I mean, I've been to quite a few weddings in the last few years of like you know,
Me too.
friends, kids,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything, and
Yeah.
it's still.
Me too.
I think people still
Of
meet,
course.
fall in love,
There are exceptions.
get
definitely.
married, don't get married, have children, don't.
Going back to your point about being approached, when we were young, our lovely mum, do you remember, used to say to us when we'd go to a disco or
God.
youth club dance, if someone asks you to dance, they've really plucked up courage.
Mm.
So don't turn them down. Have a little dance.
No,
with them.
Yeah.
if you do turn them down,
Down.
you can't do that dance with anyone else.
Anyone else, because they've, you
It
know,
will hurt their feelings.
Yes,
That's
and
good thinking, that's
in a
right.
way,
She drilled it
into us, yeah. And we're a bit like that now. Like if I'm out with my sister and we're just chatting, and someone comes and says, "Oh, hello, ladies," I wouldn't go, "Oh, bugger off." I'd say, "No, I'm fine, thank you."
You're
with my
always
sister.
approachable when I go out. Always
Yeah,
hugging
just with my
all of
sister,
us.
lovely, but no thanks.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
married, really not interested.
Yeah, exceptions,
But
though.
but I wouldn't never be rude to anyone.
No.
I would
No.
never be rude to anyone
Not at all.
because it's just not in our makeup, is it?
No, I would never be hurtful or be rude.
No.
But listen, there are people
But
that
your
are.
friend was very unfortunate. I take it he's not with that young lady anymore.
No, that got eerie for a minute, but
But having
Yeah.
said that, they're not just him. Whoever she was with was very
yeah, that's what I'm
unfortunate.
saying. But the point of that is I have to say, they convinced me, that is the current mindset of youngsters, not just the girls, but of the guys as well. Because you've got guys that have got like 10 girls on a go at once and aren't usually.
But how old are these
Yeah.
people? Are you
How do
Like
talking?
the 20s and.
But then I would say if you're not settled
They do.
down, then maybe.
How would you cope?
I do, man.
How
Some
did
people
they
can
fit
handle
it
that.
in?
That's like you're handling like 11
Jamie,
personalities,
how would they
yours
fit
and
in?
10 others.
No.
That's
You're younger than
ridiculous.
us, obviously.
The
Do
question
you
is,
find that?
how are you not calling them the wrong names? Because I would be like,
I would be
"Oh,
terrible.
Baby,
Maybe
darling.
you'd make have to wear a sticker. When you go out on a date, you'd have your stickers ready. Can I just...
That would be
A name badge.
Going back years, he'd just be like, "Oh, he's a right player, isn't he? He's a right
Two-timer,
two-timer, gigolo. Oh, don't trust him.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, people like that have been around. I mean, we grew up with guys that were,
Kings and queens and
Yeah.
centuries and
yeah, you
So
know,
what's changed now then? Why is it viewed so.
biblical.
Again?
Biblical, King Solomon.
Okay, yeah.
Well, we can go on the
I don't think
biblical
everyone wants
times.
900
and-
wives though. That's.
Yeah, I mean,
Why
you
has it
must have had
changed
good
now
food
then?
back then or
From
something.
compared to what you were saying, our generation, yeah, we knew about these guys. Some of our dads probably did it,
Yeah.
and it was viewed then as part of the course.
I
That's
think-
just men. Why is it different?
I
now, do
think
you think?
dating, maybe you stayed a bit local.
Yeah.
So you'd meet someone and someone would know them.
Right.
Like, oh, he lives down. Oh, yeah, I know him. Going to the same school, the same college. He lives in the area. Now I think dating is much more widespread. So you can meet people from this side of London, that side, you know, anywhere.
Do you blame
So-
the internet for this? The modern society of the social media and the internet?
well, dating now, if you think
Facebook,
about it, because of
that's-
social media,
yeah.
sorry, butting in,
Yeah,
there's like
no.
a tracking device on whoever you go out with.
Yeah.
Whereas when we grew up, if you met a boy, they'd take your number and they'd say, "I'll ring you." And oh my
Your mum's
goodness, for the
phone
next
number.
few days, you'd be,
Mum-
you know, and all of a sudden the
Mum's
phone would
phone.
ring and you'd hear your mum go, "Hello," and you'd
Yeah.
go, there, "Hold the line," and you'd go, "Give me that phone." Then you'd like get the phone, wouldn't you? You'd go out into the hallway, you'd shut the
hallway,
door,
yeah.
you know, you'd like sit on the floor, "Hello, hello,"
The
like
wine
that.
is hanging.
And then,
go
do
through-
you want to go on a date? Oh, okay, when? It would be, then you wouldn't see that person till the time you
Till
ever
you
went out
date.
with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you've got a boyfriend or a
It's a WhatsApp
girlfriend,
date, I call it. WhatsApp date.
if you're,
WhatsApp in.
you know, if you're not
Yeah.
like in the place where you say, you'd go like, "Well, you're there. Where are
Yeah.
you? And what are you doing there? And you're in a photo with 10 other people. And you know, you told me you were going to this place and that."
Yeah.
I think it's really awful for these young people, to be honest.
It's a tracker.
I think social media
Double-edged sword.
it's a good thing if you want to find out what someone's up to. You can really investigate. You can go really
Yeah,
deep
yeah.
at finding out what their great nan's name is. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it can also ruin your relationship because the comments that people put under photos sometimes, knowing that, let's just say this guy's in a relationship, they know he's got a girlfriend. The comments are so rude. Like, they're not
Yeah.
rude, but it's like, you know, like all the lust eyes and the love hearts and oh, you're
Terrible.
beautiful, and you
Yeah.
just think, are you taking the piss? You already know he's got a girlfriend. Like
Yeah.
things like that
Yeah.
can ruin it.
What kind of
And
pictures
also,
are we talking? Sorry to cut you. What kind of pictures are we
could
talking
just be
about?
like general pictures.
There got to be some kind of thirst trap. There's you couldn't put a picture of a guy in a duffel coat and a bloody crocodile Dundee hat.
Well, if he's wearing a crocodile Dundee
So we're talking
hat,
about
then
some
I'm
kind of
not
like
on-
body hugging, showing his physique off a little bit.
necessarily.
No, I suppose if a girl's dressed up looking lovely on a night out, you then get someone underneath maybe putting something. I don't know.
See, this is the thing. I have a problem with this because when people talk about pictures on social media, a lot of the time they convey in the message that these are innocent pictures. A lot of the time they're not innocent. They're pictures of men or women, that want some kind of adulation. A guy who's just had a workout in the gym and he's topless and he's ripped. He wants people to say,
course,
"Yeah, you look good." He wants women to say, "You're attractive." A woman who's on a beach on holiday, she's tanned up. She's been working on her body for 3 months to go on a holiday. She's taking pictures to put on social media. She wants adulation, yes or no?
Yeah.
See, this is always hard for women to admit. But it's a natural function. Men want attention from women. Women want attention from men. It's natural. I don't know why we
Yeah.
debate this
I
and
never
dispute
post
it.
photos of myself on social media
Okay,
ever.
I
but-
very
I
rarely
post
do.
photos of maybe me and my husband if we're out.
Yeah.
And then we
or
might
me and-
check it a million
check
times.
It, yeah, and me and my
See,
sister
I like
might do
this.
it.
I like this.
And we do. Before
'Cause-
we post it, it's like... you
Let me
know,
see that
let me
photo.
see it, yeah.
You know,
And
I
then
like
I'll-
this because a lot of people nowadays aren't putting their partners in their social media with them, and there's, from my opinion, there's only one reason for that, because you want adulation
Well,
from
I
someone
can't,
else.
yeah,
If you're
no.
secure in your relationship and you want people to know,
Yeah.
if you're happy in your relationship, you're going to post your
100%.
partner.
I would never not put my husband.
Right. So when I
But
see
most people know my husband, so
Okay.
it would be quite difficult
when I
to...
see
cut him
people
out.
posting
Yeah.
first track pictures,
Crop him out the photo.
pictures in bikinis or low cut dresses, or guys in grey sweatpants or topless after the gym, they're thirst trap pictures. Yeah. So anybody commenting underneath, in my opinion, that person has elicited
But
that
then,
response.
can I just say, I'm not... Well, I'm disagreeing
I
with
will,
you.
and I'll finish
But
my
then,
point.
for some people, they might have such low
Insecurity.
esteem and security that if they do get this lovely photo, maybe they are crying out for somebody
them
to
feel-
say,
Yeah,
"Oh, you
you
look
look
wonderful, you
lovely."
look nice,"
Yeah.
you
I'm not
know,
disputing
because
that, and I'm
yeah.
not saying it's wrong. You
I
have
think
to
young
understand.
people definitely lack
not saying
that
it's wrong. What I'm saying is you have to
security. Not,
understand
I
the
mean,
reason
even I'm
behind it.
talking young,
Yeah.
like 16, 17-year-olds who really maybe a body, not body, you know,
Validation.
they really do. And
Yeah.
I think that's quite sad for these young people.
But also can go down the opposite way if someone makes a bad comment
Right.
on
Yeah.
social media with someone who's young, maybe they've got
I don't know how I could have coped
Issues
with that.
of them.
Knowing what
No.
I was like at 16, 17, that would have just been horrific.
Well,
You
Kate
hear the
Winslet made a
stories.
film, didn't she? She
Yeah.
produced a film with her daughter, and it was basically where her daughter was obsessed with social media and taking
That's
photos. And as a parent, she tried to help her because she just literally was obsessed with taking photos and reading the comments, and if it was negative, and it made her suicidal. And and she won I think she won a BAFTA for the film because it was so spot on.
what was that film called?
It was the girl's name, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the girl's. I think. Oh, what was her name? I can't remember the actual name, but if you Google Kate Winslet
Yeah.
film
Okay.
daughter, it was a short film. It was a series of short films, and they were all based on really current issues, like people getting in debt when they really, can't help it because they work, but they just aren't earning enough money. There was a really good film. It was about this with her daughter and social media, and they were really good short stories.
My eldest isn't on social media. Never, doesn't want
No.
to. Not interested.
Some
Not
people are
interested.
like that,
Yeah. Not interested.
Do you think social media as well causes, if you're out with a partner and you're married and one is on social media and one isn't, causes conflict in a relationship?
I don't know. His fiance is, and
Depends
they
if
don't
they're
seem. Yeah,
insecure.
they're not. She'll include him on her social media, but he's never had his own social media. It's just his personal choice. Not interested. Don't know. Difficult one.
Did you put your ex-partner up on social media?
I was trying to think of what my original point was, but I can't remember. Ask me this question again.
We've
mate.
But, we
diversified.
keep putting in.
Yeah, go on. What was it? What was the question?
You
My
know,
partner,
social media.
Would I
With your
be happy with my partner having a...
no, would you and her? If you're on social media and
Yeah.
she is, would you
Yeah, we
put
were.
each other? You
Yeah,
did.
yeah, we did. We posted
Oh.
each other.
Yeah.
But my stipulation was neither of us put first track pictures up, and anyone who we don't know or have or are friends with, we delete from our profiles.
So you discussed it together.
Yeah.
Your-
Why
your
would you do
Facebook.
that if you worked
Because-
together and trusted each other and had a
It's
lovely
not- see,
relationship?
that's the thing. For me, I'm real enough to know that it's not just about trust. Yeah, you can trust someone 100%. Yeah, it doesn't mean that they're trustworthy or that your trust is going to be justified. Because you got to think of all the situations where something could happen. Right. So, for example, quick example, work in a predominantly male environment. You've got one of them's your work husband. Yeah? We know what work husbands are. Someone at work you get on with, he's a man, blah, blah, blah. Or you're a work wife, whichever. And you get on with them. One day, a relative dies. Yeah? You're in a sad mood. Work husband says, gives you a hug and says, you know what, blah, 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 there, tell me about it. Let's have a coffee after work. Go for the coffee after work. This man's understanding, he's attentive, he's listening to you. Then you start thinking, he's actually good looking as well, and he's in good nick, and he's single, or he's got a wife, but you know what, right now we're getting on, we're vibing. Next thing you know, you're in a hotel somewhere, or in the back of your car. Yeah? Both of you regretting it, but it happens, is my point. And it can happen.
Not to
I'm not
me.
saying it happens all the time. See, this is the thing. You're taking it individually. I'm not pointing
No,
fingers.
I know.
no.
No, I'm
saying
just
it
saying.
happens.
Of course it happens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in the
and I
workplace.
know loads of people that has happened to.
Yeah.
100%.
And
No, I'm not
loads and
naive
loads and
enough to know.
loads.
Finish my
Yeah.
point before I
Yeah,
forget
sorry.
now.
Yeah, go
sorry.
on.
So I try in my relationships to forestall that. I mean, anything that we can sit down and see that potentially, is a risk to our relationship, we have to discuss at the beginning. That's how I see it, Because if we wait until this risk comes up, and we haven't spoken about it or tried to work out a workaround, it's going to go up in
So
the
you
air.
lay down rules.
At least, for both of us, man. Anything I don't want you to do, I'm not going to do either. I'm not saying you can't go on. I wouldn't even say you can't do this. I'll say this is not what I'm not happy with. This is what I won't be comfortable with. I won't be doing this either. If you still want to do this, you need to be with someone else, or you need to be single.
Well, every relationship is an individual, isn't it? If that's how
it is.
if that's how you
Yeah.
feel,
I believe
Yeah.
two people are. If we claim in each other, we're for each other. We're for each other.
See, my
we don't
husband's
show out
really-
to everybody else. We don't act as if we're single, because some people
Oh, 100%.
in
I get that.
relationships present as if they're single. Don't put their partners on social media, as we said. Go on girls' nights out, scantily clad, drunk, falling about. If you only got the girls round them and they're safe, you've still got
I've done that a
predatory
few
men.
times.
You've got predatory men. What if one of you goes off to the toilet? You're a bit tipsy. One of the
Yeah.
predators decide.
Yeah.
This is what men think about. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it's not about we want to control. It's about protection. We're protective.
No, I get that. I get
You know
that
what I mean?
100%.
You turn on the news any day, a woman's been raped, murdered, kidnapped, or some madness.
but then we can go on to another subject.
Go on, then.
Should it be something to do with what? So you can't wear sexy clothes then?
No, see, this is another misconception.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. Any of us can. But there are consequences to whatever we do. Whether they're good or bad consequences, whatever we do, there are consequences. So all I'm saying is, we need to try and mitigate the do you know what I mean by mitigate? We need to try and
You could start a massive debate about that though.
You could
Yeah.
Because, you know, as a
you
woman.
said you was
Hang
going
on, let her finish the point, please,
Her
Afro.
husband. She wanted to say about her husband at one
Oh,
point.
no, that was interesting what you were
social.
saying. I just wanted to hear that. Please finish that.
No, I was going to say, because I mean, as a woman, I would say you should be allowed to wear what you
course you
want
can.
when you want,
Yeah.
and there shouldn't be consequences.
But there are. You got rapists.
But then
Rapists.
that's like saying then you must never walk down a dark
Handmaid's
night.
Tale.
No,
was
Yeah.
wearing.
no.
everyone
But it is
No,
because there's
racist,
consequences. I really hate the
It's
expression
not.
"wrong place." You're in the wrong place. Wrong place, right
time.
Right, I
Wrong
hate
time,
that.
Yeah.
Because if you're where you're meant to be and
Yeah.
something happens, then you're not in the wrong place. You're in the place where you were meant to
Do you
be.
want another stat?
And I absolutely hate that
I'll give you
expression.
another stat. This is fact, 100%. Yeah, you can check it anywhere you want. Yeah, men face violence. Yeah, 80 to 90% more in their life than women ever will. Yeah? The only reason that we know about it is because when a man commits an act of violence against a woman, it's devastating and horrible. So of course it sticks with us. We face that every day, and this is why we know certain situations are going to put you at risk. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't go and do that. You can do whatever you want, but as long as you know what the risks are, then you can be prepared. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
It does.
So what you got to get out of your head is no one's telling you what to do. That's not what I'm saying there, or what any man should be
No,
saying.
listen. My husband advises me all the time. I'm going
That's
out
the
next.
difference.
I'm going out in a couple of weeks'
Yeah.
time, and he's make sure you get home okay. If there's a problem, you ring me. You stay where you are.
Yeah.
I'll come and get you.
Well, all right.
Don't travel
Yeah.
on the train. You know I will come and get you. It will be an hour out of my day. Really doesn't bother me
Sounds like a good
as long
man.
as you get home safe and sound. But going back to what you were saying, and I might be in the very small. But I do trust my husband at 100,000,000%.
Good.
If he ever did anything to destroy our family, I don't think I would ever trust any human being again in my life.
Yeah, and that is.
And I hope he feels the same about me.
Yeah.
How many years have you been married?
We've been married 17 years. Been together
Congratulations.
nearly 21.
Yeah, because you was telling me
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, my husband's a DJ and he is out in the public eye quite a lot. He's at parties all the time. And I see a lot of photos where
I
girls...
say,
Yeah.
it's always got women.
It's always got women. But I just know, because some people have said to me, does it not wind you up? And it doesn't wind me up.
I'll be honest.
Really
with you.
doesn't wind me up.
If I was a DJ and I got into a relationship, I would give that up. 100%. Wallahi, my strike.
Well, you know what's smart.
Yeah, I know.
He's just,
But
isn't
he's
he?
harmless.
And do you know why I'd give it up? Because I know what comes with that kind of lifestyle.
Listen,
Women throw themselves
he's told me
into it.
stories of when he was younger, and I know when he was, when he was younger, what he
Yeah.
got up to. Yeah, but it makes me laugh, and I always say to him, he can tell me anything, what he did before he met me, and vice versa. Because to me, that was his life before he met me, and I've had a life before I met him.
Yeah.
And we laugh about it. We tell each other funny stories because why should you pretend things have not happened in your life? You know, when they have, and it's part of you, and it's made you what you are today.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I know.
You know?
One of my mates, not one of my mates, unlucky guys, he had a conversation with his, she wasn't his partner, but they were talking about it. He asked her how many partners she'd had, and she told him the truth. He left her. She'd been with 40 people. She was late 20s, early 30s, I can't remember.
40 people at
40 people,
20s, 30.
She was early 20s at the oldest.
not
Early
wasting no
30s at
time,
the
was
oldest. Yeah. So he said, no, that was it for me. He'd only been with 21. I mean,
But that's ridiculous.
So as far as he
isn't
was
it?
concerned,
I mean, come on.
It was like, but that's how men feel a lot of the time. You know what I mean?
That's quite judgmental, though.
Yeah.
I'm not disputing that at all, but that's how men feel. Right. So his thinking was, she's had more lovers than me. She's had more experience than me. How can I be satisfying her? This is
that what he thought?
As extreme as that is, this was his thought process.
He's told you that.
Yeah.
But did he
told me. We
did
sat
he
and had
bring up
the-
his concerns to her before?
Yeah,
and
he
did she
did.
say, I love you. You
Well,
want to
she
be?
was saying what you were saying. It shouldn't matter. It was before and blah blah.
Yeah.
blah.
So in a way, I feel really sorry
Yeah.
for the girl
Yeah.
because
Well, she's with someone now. As far as I'm aware,
Yeah.
she's with a guy now. But
Does she disclose that?
Maybe
I
she,
don't know.
maybe she thought, I'm not doing that. I'm not making
don't
that mistake again.
But he was devoted. He was fully devastated, man, because he liked her. But in his mind, he just thought, oh, the stuff came up. He was saying that, what if they have an argument or say, because she was still friends with some of her, she said they weren't exes, but to the contrary, she was still friends with some people. She had a load of, most of her Instagram following were male, 99% of them. You know what I mean? So I think his concerns had merit. I don't think they were fully justified, but they did have some merit because there are some questions.
yeah, she won't
you
be
know?
making that mistake again.
No, definitely
But do you
not.
not think when you're with
See, I don't
someone,
think that's a mistake. I think she's good. She told the truth because she's weeded out the wheat from the chaff. She knows he's not the man for her.
exactly,
And he
she
knows
might
she's
go
not
on,
the one
yeah.
for him.
But do you not think when you're with someone, regardless if you're married or it's your partner, it's all about, what winds them up, what antagonises them, what they like, what they don't like. And you almost come to some sort of, not compromise, I can't explain it, but you sort of
Well, if something's going to really wind them up, don't do it.
don't do it.
That's how
Some
I
people
feel.
deliberately will go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I.
Like,
That's how I
Like,
feel.
if I go out on a night out and I don't go home now, safe and sound, if
Yeah.
Steve's not in, Smarty's not in, I know that's going to wind him up.
Yeah.
So I make a conscious effort of letting him know I'm in, I'm
That's
safe,
good,
the
yeah.
door's locked, all good.
Communication.
Communication, because I know,
Sorry, go on.
it's going to wind him up.
Are you both married?
yeah.
Okay, right. You've been married 17 years?
And you've been married
Well, I've been with him for 22 years.
Yeah.
21 years.
been married-
Yeah.
15?
Yeah, something
About
like
15?
that. So
Yeah,
I've been
long
together
enough,
quite a long
yeah.
time.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you feel the same as your sister as
Oh,
far as
100%,
relationships
yeah.
are concerned?
I
Okay.
feel it's. I think it is knowing that person, accepting them, being tolerant. And as I say, don't do things that will piss
It's
them
hard.
off.
It can be
It's
bloody hard work
But
sometimes.
don't do things that are going to annoy them.
Okay.
And I've had plenty of conversations with friends of mine when I go, why have you done that?
Yeah, a lot of young
Why have you done
people
that?
these days, though,
Yeah.
You
can't
know
say
he's
that.
gonna, that is gonna really annoy him.
You
So
can't
don't
say
do
that.
it.
A lot of young people now say, well, they should be in control of their feelings
When
as a
you
grown
say
man,
younger,
blah, blah, blah.
what age are you
Younger.
referring to?
What age am I?
No,
I'm
young,
52,
younger.
so
Younger.
anyone younger than me, or by 10 years or more, but you
You're talking about my age.
No, but listen, I have to stipulate.
Age group, I
Yeah,
say.
but listen to what I'm saying. I have to stipulate, yeah? I'm
Mm.
not talking about everybody your age. I'm talking about a number of your generation.
Yeah, that's
Where do you
my
get
age
these?
group.
If you don't mind me
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
this, where do you learn this?
Well, I
though?
work, I'm not going to say work which
No.
county, but I work with youth offending services.
Right, okay.
So our age range is 14 to 18. A lot of the 18-year-olds we still work with afterwards in various capacities. But I speak to a lot of the parents as well. A lot of the parents are in their late 20s and early 30s. Some of them we've had like in-depth. We've had to get in-depth with them because of the situations. I can't go into it any more than that. But based on that, I've ended up having conversations with parents or the young people. And this is over a course of years because I've been working with them for like 5 or 6 years now, about 5 years. But this isn't the only source of data. You know, my area alone, most of my neighbours, and because of what I do, I know quite a few people in my ends. I'm from London, so I know loads of people in London still. I know loads of people all over Essex. I don't think Afro said you guys are from Essex. I live in Essex as well. So my data's come from a load of different places, and over a course of time, over the last 5-6 years, as I said. So I'm not just sitting there now spouting rhetoric or guessing about stuff. This is stuff I've been talking to people about. Some of it I've experienced myself. You know what I mean? I won't get into what I was saying to you earlier about one of my pals. He won't approach a woman unless he knows. That's me now. You know what I mean? I won't approach a woman unless I get an obvious sign that
like
she's
a
interested
signal,
in me.
like a
Yeah, a
signal.
smile or even
What's the signal to you?
a smile, as I just said.
Just a smile.
Yeah. Most women, if they're not interested, they won't smile at you.
I smile
They
at
won't give you any
everyone.
attention. Most women. Yeah?
I smile at everyone. I smile at the whole
Okay, that's
world.
why I said most women, because not all women. This is
do you
another
not think
That's
the
not
world,
anyone,
it's
that's
just-
probably one still single.
Yeah, I don't. I've got
Start
that.
smiling.
I smile at everyone.
It could be a smile, yeah.
So that brings us back to
that's a
why
good
people
perspective.
with this online dating maybe
yeah.
sometimes prefer it, because I suppose first of all
interactive, it's not- you're not
you're
face-to-face,
talking
yeah.
first, aren't you? You're meant to be chatting,
Yeah.
and whether you've, and then I suppose it progresses
Virtual
to
world,
actually
actually,
speaking on the phone, and then I suppose then you meet up with them. So you've already had those some kind of inkling as to whether
Yeah.
you're.
I don't
Nerve-wracking,
like
isn't
that.
it?
Oh, I
For
could
me,
never do it.
it's-
I would
No.
be.
For me, that's fake, because that person then, whether it's a man or a woman, because they can't see you, and we know that physical communication is 90% of actual communication. Verbal's only 10% of it. If you can't see and interact with this person, you don't really know what they're about. You know what I mean? I prefer to sit and talk to someone and look in their eyes and watch their facial expressions. And
I
their
suppose
body
that
language.
is the next
You know what I
stage,
mean?
isn't it?
So
I
yeah, but
suppose
that's the thing. During that getting to know each other period online, where you're
Yeah.
either texting or you're DMing this person, that's when all the BS comes out and all the fronting. When we meet them in person, they can still front, but you can see what they're about. Do you understand
of
the difference?
course, and that's why
So many people are duped, aren't they?
Aren't they?
So many people
This
are
is why I
duped.
don't
But then it goes back
social
to
media,
how are people of a certain age meant to meet people then,
Same
other
way,
than
the
on.
person I'm seeing now, not in a relationship, but the person I'm seeing now, we met in the supermarket.
Oh, did
Yeah,
you?
she smiled at me, and we ended up talking.
Oh,
Actually,
smiled.
I didn't talk to her. I walked around, like made out I didn't notice, and then she called me again, and she smiled again, and that was it. She smiled at me twice, so I'm
What
thinking
supermarket?
I was going to
was
say,
that?
this was in Aldi.
take notes.
Aldi. Oh, right, Aldi.
There you
I'm
go,
walking
Jay.
away
There you
from
go,
her,
Jay.
knowing that I need to smile
But no, I
more.
need
walked away
to
because
smile.
first I thought, you know what, she might, like you smile
Yeah.
at everyone, you said. I thought she might just be polite, so
Yeah.
she smiled at me again. And so I went and spoke to her, and we got talking, and we had long conversation, not in Aldi, obviously, but I just said what I expected.
Over the fruit and
of
veg
what I was
counter.
bringing. And it's actually a tin fish.
In the fish. Nice, good.
But yeah, we had a long conversation. We spoke about. If I'm honest, initially she asked me, so I told her what I expected from any union. She told me what she expected, and we gelled, man. And there's no relationship. There's no pressure. We don't. You know, there's a key. I can just go anytime I want. There's a key put aside for me. I'm going at 3 a.m. if I want to. I mean.
So you sound like you're really in touch with this sort of thing, and you know you know, but I would imagine there's loads of men out there that wouldn't be,
Haven't got confidence.
haven't got the confidence
Well, there's that
to,
too.
There are.
you know, and
Again, there are loads of men like me who do know what they want, yeah, but they're just being quiet about it. See, what the thing is, like a lot of the guys who are coming out now and speaking, you can see they've been hurt by someone in the past because they're speaking with vitriol and venom and poison, you know what I mean? And they sound to me like I hate women.
A lot of them don't trust women.
The
they
proper
say.
guys will either speak as I am, or they won't say nothing and just move in silence and do what they're doing. You know what I mean? But for me, I'm not happy with the way things are and the way people view relationships these days.
is your new young lady of a similar age to you?
She's 37.
So has she got children?
No, not this
Right.
one.
So does she want? If you talked
No,
about that,
No, she don't want them either.
oh, she doesn't want
No,
them.
no.
Right.
No,
so,
that was part of the discussion. You know what I
Okay.
mean? But we didn't even have to get to that because we initially weren't talking about us having a traditional relationship. Basically, it was just booty call.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
but we didn't want to be sluts and be shagging around. So we just made this commitment to say, look, when we're up for it, give a shout. When you want to come, yeah, it's as simple as that.
And all
for
this
me,
over a tin of tuna.
yes, it works.
in Eldo.
Mackerel, actually. It's mackerel.
Mackerel.
Yeah, for us it works, man.
For
She's
mackerel.
37. She's got her own life. Yeah, she don't
I get
know
very
less
embarrassed about
about
talking
women.
about things like this.
She's terrible.
Really.
Because a lot of men are shit. If we're gonna have it right, I can admit that as a man. I know a lot of them. And by the same token, these days, a lot of, not all, notice I say a lot of, and not every woman, they don't know how to act in a relationship because they've been told something else.
But then
You
you've
don't
got
need
the
a
man that
Go on.
doesn't want the sort of our age group woman. They want the younger woman. Don't
You
they?
leave them and let them do
What
what
you're
they're
saying,
doing.
the men in their 50s,
Fifties
want
want the young,
woman?
yeah.
Some
They've had their
100%.
children and they want the
100%.
beautiful girl on their arm
Yeah,
now
some do, but
that they can
there's-
take out.
There's a downside to that, man. You know, a man in his 50s, what's he going to talk to a 20-odd-year-old about? What are they really going to talk about?
I don't think they care. I think
Right.
as long
No,
as
do.
they,
No, they do. After a point, I guarantee you, after a point, they start to get annoyed because they can't have a conversation with us. It's nothing beyond sex. And sex, that physical attraction, only lasts a finite time. You know, if you're going to have a relationship with someone, you've got to build it on something beyond sex. In fact, it has to start without sex. It's got to start outside of sex, man. It's
Take
got to start
notes,
on
Jade.
A different connection. If you go into a relationship, right, say you go on your first date, yeah, showing like.
Oh, that's sorry.
See,
That
no,
is very
no,
old-fashioned.
listen,
Yeah,
No,
that is,
come
no.
on.
See, you're going to tell me what men.
No,
I'm
because
going to tell you how men see
no,
this.
but that's your view.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think a woman, whatever age, should be allowed to wear what she
Yeah.
wants.
You didn't let me
And
finish
if
what I
we're-
was saying. If you let me
If
finish
you're
what I'm
saying
saying, come
to the
a point.
first date to go out and not wear
No,
something
that's
short.
not what I'm saying. That's not what I said. See,
Go
you
on
need
then,
to
what you
listen
saying?
first.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, if you go on a dress with a short skirt,
Yeah.
or you're showing cleavage, that man straight away is thinking about sex because you're showing him a part of your body that is related to sex. Hang on, not what he should think or what society says. This is what he's going to see, and that's what he's going to be thinking. So while you're sitting there telling him about your career, he's going to be thinking about whether or not he can get into bed and what your body looks like fully naked and all this stuff because in his mind you've led with sex and you've done it subconsciously. You just want to look good. You just want to impress
Are
this
you
guy.
are you saying every man?
No.
Are you general?
No, yeah.
No, I
Look,
can't
right,
say
okay.
that. Of course I can't.
Yeah.
So would you? Is this your
I
would you
did
then?
at one
So
stage.
you would be,
But
okay.
now, if I see, right, if I'm out, the woman I met, I'm kind of seeing now. I can't define what it is yet. I will by the end of this podcast. But the woman I'm seeing now, if when I first saw her, she was dressed provocatively, I wouldn't have bothered. I wouldn't have because in my mind I would have thought you look like you're trying to attract somebody, yeah. And and if you look comfortable like that, then you like that every day, yeah. So for me, that would raise questions about whether or not straight away I could trust you and whether or not you needed attention from multiple sources. Yeah, that's what I would be thinking. But not every man would think that. Some men might think, oh, she looks good. I just want sex, blah blah blah. Have his sex and then bounce. To me, that's nasty because you've been dishonest from day one.
Can I ask you, what would you suggest then a woman should wear on her first date? If the,
All
you
right.
know, so that he's not looking at you thinking, oh, can't wait to get you home.
For me personally, I think a first date a woman should be demure. I don't mean wear like a bloody potato sack where she's all covered. I'm not saying that, yeah.
So you're not saying wear the roll neck?
No. You listen.
A
As far as I'm
nun's
concerned, you can show your figure off and
Be covered.
present yourself, yeah. But yeah, don't See, because this is the thing.
Can
It
you
goes
show
back
your
to what you were
curves?
saying earlier.
Can you
Yeah,
show
a
your
woman
curves?
should be able to
My
wear what
dress
she
is a bit
wants. Of
see-through.
course she
Yeah,
should.
downwards.
Of course she should. Yeah, but some men are totally ignorant. Yeah, and unreasonable. Yeah. And they are not going to be thinking like that. A woman should wear what she wants, and I shouldn't be able to look at her or approach her in any way. They're going to think, she's wearing that, she must want something, I'm going to go. Because they're idiots. And you have to allow for that. Not everyone has sense. So all I'm saying is, when you present yourself, yeah, you have to think about how you present. If I go out, yeah, topless, and I'm bounding down the street and looking at everyone like I think I can have a fight, someone's going to come and test that theory, yes or no?
But you as a man.
Someone's going to come and test me and
Another
think, yeah,
man.
you think you're a bad man, come on in.
Yeah.
Somebody is, at some
Yeah.
point. It's the same concept, it's the same principle. If you present a certain way, someone's going to try and take advantage of that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't dress how you want. Dress how you want. It's a free world. We can. But there's always consequences to our actions. Always, regardless of what the actions are.
So what about if a girl goes to a supermarket and which I do frequently,
Yeah.
hair scraped back, no makeup,
Yeah.
looking a bit, you know,
Pyjamas.
yeah.
With the woman I
Would
met,
you go, oh,
No, the woman I met was like that.
Oh.
No makeup on, hair tied up in a bun. It
Why
was a
did we
top
do
knot.
ooh?
She had
Why?
sweatpants on.
yeah.
You know what I mean? She wasn't presenting as anything special. She was just out doing her shopping. And she saw a guy she found attractive. And I found her attractive. And it was as simple as that, you know? She had to smile at me twice
But-
for me to make a move. But that's down to me. Nowadays, you know, I think I kind of thought the first time, kind of felt a bit nervous, if I'm honest, you know what I mean? Because what if I went and shot my shot and she just went, nah, something weird, or he said something weird, or there's something weird about the way you walk. Because women turn men down for the strangest things.
Really?
Yeah, of course
Like
they do.
what? Name me one.
One of my friends,
Hornets.
the
Like family fault.
psychologist that I was telling you about earlier,
Yeah.
she even said she's a psychologist,
No,
because certain
don't-
people
yeah.
watch it to work out who she is. But she told me she went on a date with a guy and she didn't like the way he chewed.
He chewed what?
He chewed
Food?
his food.
That is
Oh
a
no, I
thing.
get.
That is a
I
thing.
think
Yeah.
that's
Because
yeah.
I think
That will put you off a whole
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're
So, right, this is my
yaffling.
point
Or,
then.
Because you've got to sit with
Right.
this guy for the rest of your life. And he's
Okay, right. So
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no, 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 no,
Oh.
no, that's not. It was, no. It wasn't loud chewing. She said she didn't like his mouth motions, the way his mouth moved. I
he
swear
would
to
do
God.
it like a really.
But isn't that then just going back to who you like and who you don't like? You're going to meet
It's
someone.
human
it's
instinct,
human
isn't it?
instinct.
Who you find attractive and who you don't.
You know,
No,
let's
of
be honest.
course,
We
and
all
it
at
was a
first
choice.
instance find someone attractive, and then you might go out with them for a few
I like
days,
the way they dress.
and
No,
you
we've got
go,
off the
"Oh,
point.
actually,
We've
he's
got off
not
the
for
point.
me."
We've got off
You
the
know.
point. We have got off the point. That wasn't my point. My point was, 9 times out of 10, a man approaches a woman and she doesn't find him attractive, you're going to brush him off. Some women will do it nicely, yeah? Some women will embarrass him, like the 3 girls who embarrassed a kid outside of...
But you said yourself you didn't know what he said to them.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
he might have
regardless
said
of what he
something.
said, even if he said something nasty, yeah, she should have said, you know what, that's disgusting. Please go away from me, or I'm going to call the manager, or something like that. But what she did, in my opinion, could have exacerbated the
But she
situation.
was probably a silly little girl, though.
And he was a silly little boy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
her saying that to him could have made him think, all right, you've embarrassed me, I'm going to do something about it. And then it would have embarrassed
But what's a
exacerbated
nice
him.
way? I mean, you say, you know, I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
You go and approach someone, they're either going to be reciprocate or they're going to go, no thanks,
Yeah.
not
No thanks
interested.
is fine. Of course it is.
You know,
No thanks is fine.
I feel like
and
I
most
feel rude saying
reasonable
no thanks.
people... Nah, man.
So I just give a
Listen,
fake
any
number
reasonable
and-
person... See, for me, that's even
I
worse.
do because I feel bad.
Oh,
For
Jay,
what?
that's
I
because
feel
you want to be
horrible.
kind.
I
and
am
you're
really
lying.
because I
Yeah.
feel horrible on them because
Yeah.
they've come and they've approached me and I
Yeah.
don't like you, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be nasty and say I don't like you.
Okay, I get
so I
ya.
just give you a fake name and a fake number.
I understand it, but what do you think that guy did? All right, so you've given this guy a fake number after he's shot his shot. He thinks he's done well. He thinks you like him. Yeah, he thinks he's got a chance. He gets home after this conversation, hour long, whatever it is, might even be 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But he's got the impression you like him. He gets home and it's a fake number. How
I
do you
know,
think he
it's
feels
sad.
then?
I know it's sad.
Do you
but
think
what
he
do-
feels worse then? Or do you think it'd feel worse if you said at the time, sorry, I'm not interested, but thank you for
just
showing
don't have
interest
the
in me?
courage, then
Okay,
I'd just
fair
say
enough.
that I'm a chicken. Then I don't have the courage
Okay,
to
I'll
say
get
to
that. I
someone,
understand that.
I don't like you, or
A lot of people don't. As I said,
Yeah,
I just
they
the first time she
feel it.
smiled at me,
Some
I
of
was a
them
bit
feel it.
nervous because I didn't know what the response was going to be. But the second time, that is, as far as I could see, that was definitively, yeah, I like you. You know what I mean? So that gave me the impetus to talk. But if she didn't
I
smile
think
at
it
me
depends
again,
on where you are, though,
I'd
doesn't
have
it?
just bought my fish and got out of there. So again,
Depends where you are. Like if you're in a pub and you're with a group of girlfriends and everyone's enjoying themselves, it's party atmosphere, boys are chatting to girls, chatting to boys. It's slightly different. I have to be honest, I don't think I'd feel very comfortable in a supermarket if someone, I don't know, would you...
Someone chatted you up in the supermarket? No.
No, I think I'd probably...
And that was another thing, the reason I didn't approach her first, but that's why I needed affirmation. I needed a second confirmation before I approached. I wouldn't want to be just cold approached in the super, anywhere, to be
I
fair.
wouldn't mind because I don't go out much, so
She goes and gets her
You need to go and stand by the tinned
the tins.
fish.
So can you just reach out on the top?
Yeah. So Jade, where do you go? Like, so when you go out, what's the vibe?
I don't, because I don't actually. I have this thing now where I don't like being in clubs because I feel like I get anxiety because so much bad things happen in clubs. I just want to get home to my son. I don't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you do go out with
It
your
will be like
girlfriends,
a bar,
dinner,
Yeah.
But
Nice.
I will not
Nice.
go to a club.
That's what I do. Dinner. I don't go. I haven't been to a club.
No.
I don't even remember the last time I've been to a club. I don't go to pubs. I don't go to wine. I had to think about that because I did one time in the last 6 years, but I don't really go to places like that unless there is a specific reason, a birthday party, a wedding, something like that. But I don't put myself in those positions.
I won't go to a
Sorry,
club
tell a lie. The
because
last
I
time my mates took me to, is it Browns? I think it's Browns. It was a strip club anyway, for my 48th or something like that, 47th. And it was the most uncomfortable I've been in my life. I've never been more uncomfortable in my life. Some girl I don't know in the G-string trying to rub herself up on me.
Shaking her booty.
But that was the last time.
So Jade, you'd be relying on, I suppose, introductions, people saying we've met a nice fella that could work for you, you know,
probably.
something
Otherwise,
like that.
That's just not going to happen.
No.
Well, I shouldn't say it's not going to happen.
No.
Because it may, but I'm just not going to meet anyone in the club. And I don't go out enough to bars and dinners to...
No.
Do a group of guys go for dinner, really? Because...
No.
I do, yeah. Some of
I've never
we
seen
went
a
to,
group of guys
we
at
go
dinner.
to Broad Street, Birmingham, down there, like 10 of us at times, you know what I mean? So we do. But not as frequently as women do.
How old is your son?
7.
So he's still quite young. So, you know, I would imagine you're juggling lots
Life
with him and
around.
everything. Yeah.
It's his world. I just live in
Of course.
it.
Yeah.
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 I'm just here to do the mum stuff, as he
Yeah.
says. Mum. And I'm running.
I can't remember the last time I went to a club, to be fair.
No.
I cannot remember the last time I went to a club.
Pubs.
Pubs, yeah,
Bars.
with music and
No,
bars
not
and
club.
things, yeah.
Too old to go to a club.
Ups in the day, in the summer, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's lovely.
But I'm not going to a club, so I'm not. I just. Oh, I hate it. We went recently I went with my cousin, and it wasn't loads of people in there, and I literally sat down like this the whole time. I just sat there like this.
Not smiling.
And I just thought, you're really stiff, Yeah, not smiling.
Not smiling. Just sitting there.
You're so stiff, but I've learned something today. I'm going to walk away, I'm going to smile
What have
more
you
at people. That I need to...
Yeah, don't smile at everyone.
You say that sometimes
Not
when
everyone.
you see like recordings of yourself.
Oh, yeah, that
you say,
is
I've
out.
got to smile.
Yeah.
You can only smile if you're interested in that person. You can obviously we can all do like the
Yeah.
good morning
And
smile.
I've got to smile less.
Yeah, and you can smile less.
Smile
yes.
there.
Well, it hasn't got you in trouble, has it?
No.
You're right, so you're all right. You can smile.
I chat to
You've got
everyone.
it down to a fine art.
I chat to my lovely dustmen that come on. We always have a nice chat.
Oh, wow.
But what you got to remember as well, this is another thing that many women don't get. Many, not all. Some women do, especially women of my age normally get it. But
Come on,
9
now, you're going to
times
come
out
out
of
with
10,
something, aren't you?
9 times out of 10, when a
Okay.
man talks to a woman, there's only one thing in his mind.
No, I disagree.
rubbish.
Oh.
My lovely
No.
dustman's about
So
70.
then what you're saying is if my husband talks to someone then...
No, I said 9
That's-
times out of 10, your husband could be the one. And he's
Well, my
married.
husband is
And
definitely
he's
the
married.
one.
Right, let's
Yeah,
say
yeah.
single men then, yeah?
Yeah, I
Let's
think...
say single men. No,
Okay.
and
I
you
don't
what?
know.
No,
I've got to
I'm
be...
gonna go even
I
further.
disagree with you
I'm going to go
there.
even further. I'm going to say
I think there's loads
9
of
out
men
of 10
that
men, yeah?
can
And I'll justify
innocently
that by
talk to
saying
women.
the fact that they think it doesn't mean they're going to do it or even want to do it. But most men look at women and just as women look at men, yeah, and size them up sexually. Would I like this person as a partner?
Sorry, Dan.
No,
I
that-
think you're portraying men
Okay.
in actually quite a horrible way. I
Yeah.
think Jade's going to go home and think,
Yeah, because I'm now...
I'm now-
You're saying that...
All
Yeah.
right, do you want some more
I'm
honesty?
going to be single
I
forever.
disagree.
I want to be honest, most men are horrible.
Oh, I
Jade,
disagree.
Listen to
No,
me.
Jade, they're not.
Seriously.
Jade,
They're
I've got
not.
two
Jade.
boys and they are.
My son
Jade,
is
they are.
lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, protector.
Yeah,
No.
their sons might be lovely, but most men are
No,
horrible.
Jade, rubbish.
Jade.
Man.
Most men are horrible. All right, let me clarify. Their sons and their husbands might be nice men.
No,
But
there
most
are
No,
there are
I'm
horrible
friends.
human beings
And
in
their
this
brothers,
world,
yeah.
and there are
And
lovely
their
human
fathers
beings.
must be
No,
good men.
there are
But most men are
there are.
horrible.
Listen, you're right. There are lovely
You're
human beings.
generalising
Horrible,
really
yeah.
badly.
I am
Horrible and
And you
generalising.
shouldn't.
I am
No.
generalising.
In what way?
But-
When you say horrible,
It's good
horrible,
and bad
like-
in everyone.
See, this is the
I
question.
think you. This is
the
what I
question.
think. This
Let
is what I
Jade, let
think.
Jade's having a.
This is the
She wants to
question
say
that you guys should have
something.
asked.
In what way?
Okay.
Has
Right.
they're horrible?
Most men, yeah, many men, let's say, just for argument's sake, yeah, will lie to a woman from day one. So, hang on, let me finish. I'm going to qualify it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I'm
date,
not
for
gonna
example.
I reckon you're right there because I've met a few lies from the start. It could be the name.
A
It
lot of
could
women
be
don't
the
want to hear
age.
this.
It could
Because it
go on.
makes.
Sorry,
a lot of women don't want to hear
go on.
this. Most men, yeah. Man asks you on a date, what do you think he wants? What do you think his intention is?
Get to know you.
I would like to think.
See,
Get
that's
to
what
know
you
you as
think.
a person.
I would like to think it is to
See,
get to know
that's
me.
what you think.
But it's
Wrong.
probably not. He's probably.
Come on,
I'd
Naz.
like the men to
Enlighten
come in here and
us.
refute this. If there's any men in there,
We're
I'd like
gonna-
one of them to come in here and refute this. Because
We're going to have a
it's
men's
a fact.
session.
I
could
think.
I could talk to 10 men, yeah, and I'll guarantee
But you're
you.
giving a really cynical view of men.
because
I
men
think-
can be cynical. Not all men. You see, you have to understand. I'm not talking about all men. I'm saying most, which is the majority, but it is most men. Some men, and I include myself in this, yeah, have a different view. But I'm a man, yeah. I've grown up from boy to man, yeah. Most of my best friends are men. Most of the people I've experienced with are men. So I know what I'm talking about. The fact that you don't know this, yeah, is good because it means you're a woman and you've lived in a woman's world.
You've got to pick it up.
I live in a man's world and I see this all the time. Men, I know men, yeah. I had a conversation with a guy, one of my pals, a couple of months ago, yeah. Went on a date with a woman. Shouldn't even expose him, but I'm going to.
Come out really loud.
He went because I had a go at him anyway. But he went on a date with a woman, yeah, and he made her believe, because he fancied her physically, yeah, he made her believe he wanted a relationship. Yeah,
Love bomb. Love
he
bomb.
made her believe he wanted a
Called
relationship.
love
He
bomb.
said, yeah, I want the house and I want to take care of you and blah, blah, blah. And all he was thinking is, I want to smash the cheeks. That's what he said to me. So I said to him,
Why wasn't he just honest?
let me finish what I said.
Close your ears.
Can I finish? I said to him,
I heard that expression.
why didn't you just say from the start that's what you want? He went, because she would have just dusted it, she would have bounced. I said, so? That's her right, man. But now you've lied to her, yeah, and then you've just ghosted her, because that's what you did. You ghosted her.
Broke her heart.
I said, how does that make sense now?
That's
What
a
if
horrible man.
the next woman
Yeah.
you tried to do this with is a friend of hers, or a cousin, or someone she knows? Your name's Dirt. You're a scumbag. It's a scumbag move. I told him this outright. So don't sit here thinking I'm saying one's better than the other. No one's better than the other. Right now, yeah, the majority, not all, obviously, but the majority of people in society don't view relationships in a healthy way, man. It seems like, yeah, I'm not talking about you guys. You've been married for a
No,
decade.
but that's something to do with how long. I still think there can be an instant
Of course there
sexual
can.
attraction when you meet someone.
Of course there can.
And it doesn't mean they're going to do that thing you said that I can't repeat
No.
because my mum might watch this
Yes,
one day.
exactly.
And
Apologies,
then
anyone
that'd be it. I think
Yeah.
it's healthy to be attracted to someone and fancy them.
And let's
adore
be
them.
honest, when
You've
you're
got to be honest,
younger, you're more frivolous. Come on, we've all been
This
there
guy's
when we're
46.
younger.
This dude's 46. Yeah,
There's
so we
nothing
can't,
wrong
we can't
with
compare.
meeting someone and being instantly attracted
Yeah,
to
But
them.
what's wrong with being honest about it?
Well, you've got to say, I really fancy you.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, yeah, if a guy's not looking for a long-term sake with a woman, yeah, but she is, he
Okay.
needs to tell her that.
How can you know on the first date? You're
Because
not
you
going
talk
to.
about
Oh,
it.
rubbish! You're not going to
come on.
meet someone
What
on a
do you talk
first
about on
date
the first date?
and go. You just talk about loads of different
Like what?
things.
What do you talk about?
Oh, I don't know.
Your career, your
career,
job,
what you
your
do,
family,
your friends, your family.
family.
It just
so
flows.
how long are you going to talk about your career and family? Once you get past those, what's the next cost?
With anything,
But then
current
But then what you're
affairs.
doing is you're then taking away natural progression of what dating's all about.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, you go out with someone, you start chit chat, okay, lovely to meet you, yeah. Do you want to go on another date? Oh yeah, you know what? We did. Yeah, okay, you go on another date. You might talk then about travelling and holidays and and food and what's
let's
your
say
favourite
sex
film, and then
and-
you go on the next thing and you go, you know what, I actually really like this person, this is going really well, we seem to really
comfortable with it.
and
Yeah.
then you might take it to the next stage. Then you might say, do you fancy coming over for dinner? And then who knows?
But also,
You know-
so what if you shag them on the first day? It
There's
doesn't
nothing wrong
mean
with
that there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
I
I
don't
didn't
think,
say
not in this
that.
day and age. But it doesn't necessarily mean then, oh, well, we've had sex on the first day. That's not going to now go any further.
Sometimes I think when I talk, sometimes I think people don't listen to what I'm actually
I
saying.
think we're listening, but we
You're
don't.
not. You're
We
hearing
are.
what you want to
No.
hear because you're coming back with
I
responses
just
that
don't
have got
agree
nothing
with
to
what
do
you're
with what I'm
saying.
saying.
I don't agree with what
Because
you're
you
saying.
haven't heard
I
exactly
think you
what I'm
sound
saying.
like
You've cut
quite
me off.
because I think you sound like an angry man.
Angry
My
man.
days.
You sound like an angry man.
Why then? Tell me what aspects of
You seem to have a lot of negativity. I've not heard one
Yeah.
positive thing
Apart
that
from
you have
meeting
come
your
out
lady
with
friend.
over the
Go on.
mackerel.
What else? Another
No.
positivity.
Well, you're
No.
saying
So-
all men are after one thing.
No,
Don't be under.
see, again,
all right,
you're not
most
hearing
men.
me.
The majority.
Majority, you
Yes.
said.
The majority
Well,
of
the
men are after
majority
one
means
thing.
most men then.
Yeah, no, you're saying all men.
No,
I'm saying
I
the
said
majority.
it's a majority. But that
You
majority
said
means
something like 80.
Yeah,
It was
but
quite a
that's
high
not all
percent.
men. There's still 20%.
That's a bloody high
out of
percentage.
7 billion people, yeah.
That's a high percentage.
Right, out of 7 billion people, yeah, that 20% that's a good few million. That's.
Do you think? What about? Okay, let's
Come
flip
on.
it. What about women?
Can I
Do you
finish what I
think?
was saying first, though?
Okay.
Because you guys have cut across me and totally not understood what I was saying.
All right.
You haven't understood what I was saying because your response, yeah, tells me that you're thinking I'm condoning this behaviour. I'm not condoning it.
No,
I'm telling you what it is.
Not at all.
I'm not saying you're
Most
condoning
men.
it.
Right, can I finish the point? Anyway?
Go on then.
Right. Most men, in my experience, men that I've spoken to, and even myself at some points, yeah, have been on a date and thought straight away on that first date, yeah, either this woman she's long term, yeah, or she's short term, based on what I want or what she says, yeah, or what whoever the two people are, yeah, they got to base it on their interaction, yeah. For me, and in my experience, most men go into that interaction thinking about the sexual aspect. They're not thinking about, I want to wife this woman or I want a long-term relationship. They're thinking, this woman looks good and I would like to have sex with her. That's most men. Whether they actually say that or actually pursue that, that's where it differs, yeah? Because a lot of men won't. They'll be thinking it, but they won't actually do anything about it. Because when it comes down to it, a lot of men haven't got the courage to make that final push unless they are encouraged by the opposite, yeah? So most men will think it, but they won't say it. But I guarantee you, I've had mates come from any first date, yeah, and tell me about the woman's physical aspects. He's never told me about her career or where she lives or aspirations. She was fit, man. And
I think women would say the same.
Of course they do. I'm not saying. So
Yeah.
this is the thing. You think I'm going one. I'm not going one way or the other. I'm saying this is how relationships are currently, or how they seem to be currently.
I think
It's
that's always been like that. I wouldn't go out with a
don't
bloke
think
when
so.
I was younger unless I fancied him. I think I was more shallow when I was younger than I am now.
God, definitely.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
God, if
well, I
I
think we
didn't
all
like
were.
the face, forget
we
it.
all were, 'cause
If
we're
you didn't
older
have
now.
the face, if you didn't flash the cash.
Oh,
That's
Flash
no,
the
it's
cash.
true that. But if
Yeah.
I was, I wanted to be with a guy that was
Yeah.
a bit of a
And as long as
yeah,
he didn't have a Velcro
and I
wallet.
didn't like Velcro wallets. I would,
Velcro
oh
wallet.
my
Oh,
goodness.
she had a
Oh, wow.
real thing
So
about
Yeah,
Velcro
Velcro
wallet.
wallet.
Afro.
I would literally go, oh.
Afro, you've known me 40 years or so.
Yeah.
Is this seeming hateful to you?
No.
No, I'm not saying it's
What about
hateful.
Because
yourself?
our next
Yeah. Does it
subject,
seem
the
hateful
next
to you?
topic we was going to go on, the
It's
second one was
not
equality.
hateful.
Plainly, seriously, I won't be offended. I promise
It's
you.
not hateful,
Yeah.
but I can see how it comes across because it's not positive. I would
How's
like
it come
to
across to
hear
you, though?
like
I'm asking
men
for
are
you.
men are trash,
Yeah.
and I don't stand.
What you say, you're generalising all men are trash.
No, I didn't see this. Is
No,
the
I'm talking
thing.
to Jade.
Okay.
No,
you.
no,
Okay.
I'm saying
Okay,
how
good,
it's
good,
coming
good.
across
Good,
is
yeah.
that men are trash
For the most part.
For the most part,
I include myself
majority
in
of
that.
the men are trash.
Yeah.
So I'm sat here now thinking, well, you're fucked, Jade. You've got no-
No, but that's the thing. See,
Maybe then, can
that's
I
the
just
thing.
say then,
They're
maybe-
not, Jade.
maybe
They're
our
not, because
personal
there are
experiences-
exceptions, Jade. And you have to be open to them. Is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but I wouldn't
You know what I
like.
mean?
I wouldn't
You're not
like
gonna get
to
sorry to.
think.
I wasn't blanking you. I just
No,
want to
no,
know what
no.
I'm saying there.
Maybe our personal experiences have never been like that then.
Yeah.
And maybe
Yeah.
the people I know
That's a good thing.
aren't like that.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
maybe
think
that's
there
why
are a
what
lot
you're
of-
saying
yeah.
is quite wow.
I think there are a
But I
lot
get
of
this
horrible
response a
men.
lot.
A lot of horrible
Yeah.
men out there. I think there are a lot of horrible women.
There's
Yeah.
some really
Really
women that
nasty
set
men,
traps.
really nasty
And this is
women.
my point.
But
That's
I
what I'm trying
don't
to say.
think it. I still believe in.
I mean, a friend of mine
endings.
has just got divorced, and I'm not even going to go what she's been through.
Right.
But she basically met someone on a
Online?
swipe left, swipe right.
Is that like catfishing or something?
Well, yes,
Yeah.
she thought she'd met the man of her dreams. She'd
Right.
waited
He's
till
a
she was
monster.
nearly 50. He turned out to be a monster.
Right, and it's-
100%.
and it's
real
And
monster.
A real monster. Literally took her for everything.
See?
And
What, her money?
everything,
Her
yeah,
house?
money.
Oh, that's
Literally,
awful.
what they've now got divorced, and she went through cancer. Her daughter's not well now, so she's been through absolute hell. He has walked away laughing.
What, with money?
Money,
majority of her
everything,
assets?
everything.
See,
Yeah.
now this is my point.
Wow.
He didn't become a monster. This guy was a monster from
Yeah,
day one.
he
hundred
was.
percent a monster.
He
But
was.
when she met him, she thought she'd met the man of her dreams.
Because
And she met him online.
She met him online. She'd brought her daughter up on her own.
Oh, he lied about his
she
age.
supported herself. You know, she had a lovely career. You know, she did everything amazingly. She used to go on holiday. She had her own home. And then she thought she'd met this guy. And oh my God, thank
She
you,
hit that
Lord.
wall then. At what age?
She met him when she was nearly 50, wasn't it?
50.
Yeah.
Okay.
The wall.
Yeah, but yeah.
She
we
wanted
got back to the original
companionship.
point.
Let's read
Well,
it
she just
back.
thought,
Yeah,
thank you,
that's
Lord,
excellent,
I've met...
actually.
Yeah,
I've met a
companionship.
man
Yeah.
who's going to make my life, not make
Went
my
online.
life, he's going to complement my life.
Yeah.
Because I don't
Yeah.
need someone to make it.
Yeah.
She'd made it on her own.
Yeah.
See,
That-
I'm different.
And we all met him.
Oh, I never liked
I
him.
want
No,
someone to
you,
make
you,
my
did,
life.
you didn't
You-
take the
No.
vibes from him.
No, found him.
Right.
There was something
So there's
sleazy about him.
Sometimes people got instinct as
Yeah.
well when you
Yeah.
meet someone.
But
I'm-
everything negative,
believe
he
in
had a
that.
reason for why something in his life didn't do this or didn't do that and didn't do that. He was very clever in the way he did
Calculated.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did things. So my poor friend now is going to be for the rest of her life nowhere near what she was before she met him. She will be forever picking up the pieces.
That's so sad.
And it
She's
is
worked
so sad.
hard to
Yeah,
Worked
get
so
there.
hard. Yeah.
But the trick in that is,
Don't
and
get
it's
him killed.
hard. Say again.
Don't get him killed.
No, that's a bit extreme. I wouldn't condone that at all. The trick is, as I was just trying to say to young Jade, I don't mean to sound patronising when I say young Jade. I mean, because you're the youngest of us here, so there's still a lot of hope for you. When I speak to Jade, there is, Jade, I promise
There
you,
is.
yeah? Because when I say this, yeah, I'm not saying all men and that there's no hope. What I'm saying is, be aware of this stuff so you can avoid it. You can avoid this shit.
Yeah, I do get that. I do get
That's
that.
what I'm saying. I'm not here trying to say men are better than women or women are better. That's not what I'm saying, because that's bullshit. Yeah? What I'm saying is, this is real life, man. And if you know about it, you can avoid it. You can get past it, man. That's what I'm doing now. That's why I don't want a relationship, because I know that a lot of people over here, men and women, don't value them the way I do. If I go into a relationship, yeah, if I'm claiming you as mine, then I'm yours, 100%. Yeah, I'll provide everything. If you don't want to work, you stay at home and do what you want, darling. You know what I mean? You go and play tennis or whatever. As long as you're loyal to me, I'm yours. I'll die for you.
Pretty perfect, actually.
I'll die for my woman, 100%. But what I'm saying is
But you've
now,
met this girl. Do you not think a transitional process? You say I don't want a relationship,
No,
but surely the more you're with her, it could fall.
She sounds
lovely.
She sounds really nice.
perfect.
Yeah.
she's great, but that's not my point. My point is I've gone into this, right, I've just come out of a 4.5 year relationship. Yeah. I had a 3-year relationship before that. Yeah. A year before that.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Why do they? What happens? What goes wrong?
they want different things than me. I want traditional, they want modern.
Right, this
Right.
is where we're going to talk about equality.
Yeah,
Right,
and the thing
so-
is, they
Yeah.
want modern in to the degree, as far as I'm concerned, of presenting as single. Do you know what I mean by that?
No.
Clubbing, girls' holidays, girls' trips. She didn't do any of that, but that's what she wanted to do. So I said, listen, let's say her name, almost did. Afro knows her. But what I said to her was, listen,
Is it the second part?
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought, wow.
Right, second part,
Yes.
equality.